And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Turn on the tube, what do I see? A whole lot of people crying, don't blame me. They point their crooked little fingers at everybody else. Spend all the time feeling sorry for themselves. Victim of this, victim of that. Your mama's too thin and your daddy too fat. Get over it.
Yeah, get over it here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm starting to get my voice back. Well, maybe not all of it. You know, one thing I wanted to make sure you knew, the next hour we have Chris Bliss from mybillofrights.org coming back in the studio. You know, we worked with him years ago in getting passed here in Arizona. It was the first state. And it was, about 4 years ago. We got past where he's a comedian, been on David Letterman and so on. He's well-known big dollar guy. You want him, his $10,000 income, do your birthday party, you know what I mean? Well, what happened was when they were doing the big thing about the 10 Commandments being on government property, and so he goes, so what? As long as you have monument to the Bill of Rights, what's the big deal? And he found out there wasn't a single monument to the Bill of Rights in the entire country. And he said, are you freaking kidding me? So what he did said, private money. We don't want you, just give us a space, on some, on the Capitol grounds here somewhere, the court plaza, whatever. You just give us some space. We'll pay for it. Private money on our own. Thank you very much. Well, we started working on it, and that was a story in itself. Well, he's coming in studio in the next hour. We're going to talk about it. And he's back here from Texas working on, they're doing it in Texas also, and working here in Arizona, getting all finalized. We're going to get a monument to the Bill of Rights just in time for it not to matter anymore. Now we'll talk about that too. While we're talking in this hour, Stuart Vener, a friend of the show, previously has been on, and we're talking about extricating yourself from a horrendous situation into where people are so underwater in their mortgages. It is devastating to their entire, how do you get out of this? And then we have another wrinkle to where you have homeowner association fees, even if you did want to stay in and could afford, nobody else can. All of a sudden you have all the homeowner association fees coming on you. So, how do you get out of that? Then you have, a lot of, what is it? What were you saying, Stuart? The Bush administration extended till 2012. The protection against debt. Go ahead and explain that to the audience for me.
I was a little incorrect in the name. It's the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act is what it is. And it was actually signed under Bush. It was retroactive to 2007 and extended to 2012. And it will allow you to exempt the tax on the forgiven debt on your principal residence only to the extent of the original money that you borrowed.
If you did a cash out. All right, if you did a refi, then it doesn't apply to that. It's just the original purchase price.
Unless the refi was used completely for home improvement.
Got it. All right. So there, I'm not sure how much that's going to save America, but it's there. And what I want to go ahead and let's walk people through the process by which we would contact you. And I go, Stuart, help me. First off, what is the website that they should know about?
Well, they can go to realtycrisis.com. And then at that point, they click on English, and it takes you to our main company, which is Wilshire Holding Group.
Okay, realtycrisis.com. All right.
Yes, and our phone number is 877-94-HELP-ME.
877-94-HELP-ME.
Yes.
Help me. Okay, now you would do what for them? Are you sending someone over? Or
No, we don't look at the property, but we like to talk to the people to be sure that we can really help them, because there's probably about 10-15% of the people that wouldn't work. But let's assume that you have a situation that we can help you with. Let's say you owe $250,000 on your home. You have one loan, and it's worth $150,000, and there's no way that it appears to be recovering, and you just want to get out of this. What we do is we purchase the property from you for the full amount of the debt. We buy it for the $250,000. We take over responsibility for the loan, and it's a very, very well-documented real estate transaction, which will give you the documentation you need to keep your credit intact. If there is debt relief, that we take that as our corporate income. And for this, we charge a small fee. I think it's small. It's 1% of the loan amount, $4,000 maximum, $1,000 minimum. And that generally equates to about 1 month's payment. We do allow the people to live in the property if they are living there, and they can stay there as our house sitters for as long as we own it, which is typically 6 months to a year. In Florida, maybe even much longer. Certain states, a long time. And we're just taking them out of the loop, in essence. It's a good plan for strategic default. Yet, if you can't afford your mortgage and you want to walk away, there's no debtor's prison in this country. I wouldn't do this if I lived in Iran. They'd bury you in the ground and throw stones at your head. But here you have every legal right to walk away from the debt. But I think it's a much better way for us to strategically handle it for you. And we take over the responsibility, and you're pretty much done with it.
Okay, so once you do this, of course, and you're doing all the filings with the county recorders and so on,
yes,
then you're the owner of record. So all of the bank phone calls and mailings and all that, all of a sudden it just starts getting redirected to you.
That's correct. And if we can't deal with a bank and they end up foreclosing on the property, our name is on that suit.
Okay.
You're on the foreclosure.
So the reason that you're able to do this is because you're able to offset whatever losses in the way that you set up the corporation with, you got to explain that. How are you able to do this and come out not obligated?
Well, you see, whatever the debt relief is, let's say you owe that $200,000 and you would refi it, and there's maybe $80,000 in bank's loss that they're going to write off. That becomes our loss as well. So the debt relief always equals our loss. It's always the same figure. So it's really not a taxable event for us. Whatever they write off in debt, that equals our loss on paper.
Okay. Well, this is, how many people have you done this for in just say the last year or two? How many homes have you taken over?
Well, we've done way over 1,000 properties, maybe 2,000 properties.
It seems like it would even be more popular. Is it just simply capacity that it's limited to that, or just getting the word out or marketing? I would think it would be, billions of people. People that don't use your service and don't know better, they're setting themselves up for a taxable event. They're going to get in trouble.
That's true. And a lot of people are putting a lot of false hope in short sales, in renegotiating the loan. And a short sale can be a disastrous situation for people. I tell them all the time, if you don't want to do this with us, that's fine. But walk away before you do that short sale. In certain states like California, Arizona, where they have a non-recourse loan, you're going to go to that bank and they're going to try to negotiate a short sale. And the only one who's going to benefit is the real estate agent. And the lender is going to look at you, and if you've got anything, they're going to want it. And they're going to make you sign a personal note, and they're going to take a note that is non-recourse and turn it into a recourseable obligation. And that's not good. You'd be much better off just walking away. I think it's a better option to walk away under our ownership.
Well, if you did just walk away without going through your process, you still have the tax obligation that would come later when they do short sell it, right?
Yes, you would have that, and you would have really nothing to help you with your credit.
Yeah, wow, man, that's another thing. When you do the transaction, just say, for example, you're not behind on your mortgage. Your credit is still good, and they go to you and you take it over. Does it have any impact on their credit?
Well, that's the best time to do it, because it's hard to really make up for the sins of the past. But if they're current at the time that they do it with us, they have everything they need to keep their credit intact. And it's much better to do it early in the game.
Wow. I'm glad you have this information available for people that need it, but it's amazing that there's a lot of people needing it, I would imagine. And I would think that the gratitude, assuming that this works out with everybody, I would think that they were very appreciative, aren't they?
We have a lot of happy people, we do, and very few people that are unhappy. Everyone is happy that does this. It does work for them.
Stuart, go ahead and give out the website again for everybody and the phone number real quick.
RealtyCrisis.com. Now, not Reality Crisis. That's a Japanese punk rock band. RealtyCrisis.com, 877-94-HELP-ME.
877-94-HELP-ME. Stuart, thanks for coming on at such short notice. I really appreciate
you,
it.
Ernest.
This
Pleasure
is
as always.
This is a great bit of information. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew, because I know there are people that needed it. You know, and if you take advantage of this, let me know how it worked out. I'd be interested to see what happened. We'll be right back with Chris Bliss. We can get his butt in here in just a little bit. You stay tuned.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.